Hey y'all, we are back. And of course, I have a grant opportunity for you all that I think would be amazing if you are in the beauty industry. First, before I get into the grant, I want to talk a little bit about the Patreon because there does seem to be some confusion about the process and how that works. So with the Patreon, and there will be a link to it inside of the description box. Now, if you're on your mobile, there's a little caret drop down. You click on that and then you'll be able to see everything that's in the description box, and then click on that link to get you to the Patreon. The $10 per month are actually sold out, and I was running that until everyone paid for however many I had in there. The second tier, which is $15, there's only 10 of those left. And as mentioned in previous videos, the final amount will be $20 per month. And I'm making a commitment of posting a minimum of 20 grants per month, but there will likely be more. Also, please be mindful that when I am posting these grants, I am posting them for an array of individuals, right? So you're going to have for-profit, nonprofit, international, state-specific. So there might not be anything that you feel is specific to your industry, but always remember that grants that are not industry specific, if you meet all of the eligibility requirements, then you can go ahead and apply for that. And then also, it's probably better to apply for grants that are not specific to your industry that allows you to apply because you're eligible, because you're going to have less competition. Think about the FedEx grant that I posted, I think 2 videos ago. All you needed was to have a shipping need or a printing need. So if you're somebody that's in the trucking industry or beauty industry and you're applying for that grant, and then they have hundreds of people that are applying that provides screen printing, you're likely going to get that grant because they're not going to want to give 50 grants to only individuals that does screen printing. You're going to stand out because your industry is not cookie cutter to the bulk of their applicants. Now, if you are applying for something that is industry specific, you're going to have more competition. It's going to be more competitive because it's only going to be those industries and applicants in those industries that they're going to look at. So please, please, please do not apply for a grant just because it's not specific to your industry. And then also, don't only want grants that are specific to your industry, because what you're doing is you're limiting the opportunities. Now with the $20 a month, as I said before, it's a business expense. And when I'm paying for anything that's associated with my business, I don't even think about it because I know when I do my taxes, I'm going to put that into my expenses. And then I'm going to get some type of credit associated with that expense. And it's kind of like Netflix. That's what I mean to say. Because what I don't want people paying for something that they're not going to get any value out of. I don't want you paying for something with the expectation that every single grant is going to be applicable to your business. It's similar to, let's go back to Netflix. If you pay for Netflix, which I don't even know how much it is per month at this time, but there's no guarantee that the new videos or new TV shows that they put out is going to be something that you're interested in watching. Sometimes things don't come out until 2 or 3 months later, which is a series that you're looking for or a series that you're waiting for season 2, 3, or 4, etc. to come out, right? So that's going to be the same thing with these grants. However, I always post general grants. So at a minimum, there will be a grant that you can apply for that is not industry specific. And what I want to do, I want to briefly share my screen and talk through, because when you have your Patreon, you're going to have to connect it to the Discord, which is where all of the grants are located. So let's see if we can get into this fairly quickly and then get into our grants. All right, so here is the Discord. So essentially what happens is you'll go to the Patreon. This is the general channel. So there's not too much intel in here, but then I've created these channels. So you have for-profit grants, nonprofit grants, state-specific grants, then of course the YouTube videos and international grants. And if you were in the Patreon, once you sign up and you connect it, And you should be able to have a drop down, but because I'm on a desktop, it's just going to pop right up for me. So then we're going to have like a list of for-profit grants in here. I've posted different nonprofit grants. I've posted a ton of state-specific grants. And then my YouTube videos, I put those in here as well. And then we have some international grants for individuals that are not located inside of the United States. And then in the general, I just post different summits or links to books or different events that are coming up. We can have conversations. I answer questions in the general one as well. So just be mindful that even though I'm committing to posting 20 grants per month, and sometimes more, that does not mean that all 20 grants are going to be applicable to you specifically, because I have to remember that there are other members and the goal is to reach the masses. I will be offering consulting services soon. I think I've said this 1,000,001 times. I have hair in my face. Okay, I think it's gone. I know I've said this a bunch, but I just really want to make sure that my schedule, number one, will allow me to provide a service that is of value. I don't want to just throw stuff together just to throw stuff together to have consultations with individuals. So I think I've answered most of the questions as far as the Patreon. And also, I just want to manage expectations. I am trying to think of something that I can do that's more of just a one-stop shop if you don't want to do the membership. But again, you also, if you get a membership, you're supporting the channel as well, right? So either way, just let me know, leave me a comment. If you sign up for the Patreon, if you have some ideas, questions, etc. Now, let's get into the grant. And as you know, we are always going to start with the rules, 1, deadlines, 2. And in this grant, there is actually discrepancy between what is posted on the main website versus what's in the rules. So I'm going to highly recommend that you either reach out to them or something, because I don't have the answer, because I'm still kind of confused on that one. Okay, so this grant, it closes on April 30th of this year. It is the beauty industry that this grant is related to. So if you're in the hair industry, if you are in the skincare industry, this grant is going to be for you. But a bonus about this is it's not just product related. It is also related to technology. And when I think about technology, I think about, I don't know what it's called, but the thing that cleans your face is electronic. You probably know what I'm talking about if you're in the skincare industry, but it could be something that's not, say, a moisturizer, a facial cleanser, hair oil, hair body butter, things like that. It doesn't necessarily have to be that type of product. It can be some type of technology as well. They are asking that you create a video that is no more than 1 to 2 minutes long. Now, this is where the discrepancy is. Once we get to the website, it definitely says 1 to 2 minutes long. But then when I read the rules, it said it could be no longer than 60 seconds. Now, the last time I checked, 120 seconds is 2 minutes and 60 seconds is 1 minute. So I don't have the answer to that, but that's just what it specifically states on the website versus the official rules. What I recommend is, if for whatever reason you decide to do more than a minute, you screenshot the main page, and then you also screenshot the rules and say there was this discrepancy. And more likely than not, folks are not reading the rules in the greatest of detail like I am doing, and they're probably only looking at that first page and submitting their application. Unless they are watching this video, then they will know that there are some discrepancies. Also with the video, the entrant, as with the previous one, has to be the primary person in that video, okay? Also, you cannot put any celebrities in there, any type of trademarks of anyone. And I say this because I know that there are going to be individuals that are in this space where they've had either a celebrity sponsor, somebody reposted them on Instagram, and that's going to be something that you want to say, look, this celebrity vouched for my product and I didn't pay them to do that. Unfortunately, you won't be able to do that, which makes sense, right? Because they're going to be promoting and sharing you all over the place. And what they don't want is then for this celebrity to reach out to them and say, you owe me a couple bucks, right? Because you're using my name and likeness without my permission. And with them reposting your product or your technology, it was just something that they did because they enjoyed it. However, they did not give permission for other people to repost it. So just put yourself in the video, and especially if you're going to do 60 seconds, even if it's going to be 2 minutes. Also within that video, you need to make sure that it is in good taste. In good taste, I think, you have to use your judgment, because one of the things is the sponsor is saying that if it does not align with their vision, then you will not be qualified for the grant. Now, once the grant closes, they said that you will be notified by around or about May the 1st. So that's when folks are going to start getting notified if they made it to the second phase. And you only have 7 days. So again, make sure you're using an email address that you check consistently, making sure that you are checking your spam around May the 1st. If you have applied for this grant, please, please, please do not be someone that is selected. And the reason that you did not get to that second phase is because you were not checking your email, or you use an email address that they're not able to get in contact with you. The second phase is going to be a panel, and you're going to have 5 minutes to talk to the panel. And what they're going to be looking at this point, they're going to also be looking at your video. They're going to be looking at the product, and then also your business plan. And the top 2 things that they're looking at is originality and creativity, which is inside of the rules as well. A key thing about your business, it has to either be 51% owned by a Black female, person that identifies as Black female, or led by an individual that identifies as a Black female. So when we say led by, they mean that's the CEO, the president, etc. They don't have to have ownership rights in that business. Let's say your company is a big enough company where you have hired a CEO, and that CEO so happens to be a Black woman. Let's say that you are a Black female, but you're partnering with a non-Black male or female, right? That doesn't matter as long as you have 51% or your partner, right? So if you're not Black female watching the video, if you are partnered with a Black female and she has 51% ownership, then you can apply for this grant. But also be mindful of, they're going to ask you for the proper documentation to show those ownership rights. And that's going to be placed either in your operating agreement or your partnership agreement, which is why it's always important to have those types of documents in place if there is more than one person that has ownership rights of a business. And what I've realized as an attorney is that individuals will go into business with somebody, and as I always tell people, everybody is happy at the beginning of starting a business, right? You're thinking about how much money you're going to make. You love the person that you're going into business with. You're excited. All is well. Something goes left, and now you're trying to unwind and get all these documents signed. And if I'm in a space where I don't want to work with you anymore, I'm not signing anything. We're just going to have to try to figure it out. And it makes it that much more difficult to then be able to progress in your business. So please, please, please know that you can't just say, oh, well, let me go hire me a Black CEO, or let me go give me a 51% partnership as a Black with a Black woman, but then you don't have any of the proper documentation, is not documented where they can fully believe that this has been your structure from the onset. So that's another thing. Now, the percentages, 40% is going to be addressing skincare needs for Black consumers. So not only must it be led by a Black woman or owned by a Black woman, You also need to be addressing the skincare needs of Black consumers. That's not just Black women. It can be men, children, babies, etc., teens, just Black consumers. So that's 40%. And it could be a technology. Remember, it can be a technology as well. So that's 40%. 30% is going to be the presentation and the pitch. So presentation will be that video. And then, of course, you're going to do a pitch if you make it to the second phase, which May the 1st, they're going to be giving that information out. And then 30% is strategy and business plan. Now, as I've said before, there is a sample business plan inside of my Facebook group, and that link will also be posted in the description box. And remember, if you are on a mobile phone, it's a little caret drop down underneath. So if you're looking at the video, it's literally to the bottom right. You click on the little caret and then you'll see everything in there. If you do not have a business plan at this point, though, I hope that you have a business plan and you have that elevator pitch that we've talked about multiple times that's going to be important for you when you're applying for various grants, even if it's ones that I'm not posting on this channel. Most grants are going to want some type of elevator pitch. And also, your business must be ready to scale, i.e., ready for commercial production within 6 to 18 months. However, this cannot be a new product or technology. What they're saying is, let's say, so I sell hair oil, and I really do sell hair oil, but I'm not applying for the grant. And it's on a smaller scale. However, what they're saying is, okay, you might sell 50 to 100 bottles, but we need you to be able to be ready to market where you might get over 1 million bottles that people are buying. And if you're not able to go from small scale to large scale, then this might not be the grant for you. However, we're in what, March? They're not contacting people until May. The announcement isn't happening until the beginning of July. So you might have some time to hunt down a mentor and say, hey, I need to make this happen, and just have your head down and ready to take your business from small scale to large scale, if that is at all possible. Also, you have to warrant. Now this, I'm going to read word for word because it was in all caps and it is bold, and I really want us to understand what they're asking. So the entrant must warrant that no info provided is or can be deemed confidential or proprietary, considered a trade secret or privilege. Please, y'all, when you are doing your video, when you are providing information, do not provide any proprietary information or that you deem to be proprietary or trademarked, etc., to this company, right? Because it is going to be them that now owns whatever information you provided, okay? And your product also must be a natural line, right? So if you have an aloe vera mask, night mask, or something like that, if you are doing shea butter, body butter, things like that is what they're looking for, right? So you can put what your product is, but do not then say, you know, I have a half a teaspoon of vitamin E oil. I have hibiscus pods. I have 3 tablespoons of that. Do not go into great detail, because once it's out in the open space, they can take that information, because by you applying to this grant, you are relinquishing all rights to any information or intel provided to the company. And I always tell people, if you are not ready for that, do not apply for these grants. You know, if you're still in the figuring it out, but I've made a couple sales phase, all money ain't good money, right? And you might essentially run yourself out of business before you start the business, because now you have shared proprietary information, not understanding that it is now theirs. And you're thinking, well, they want a natural product, so let me let them know everything that's in there, because I really want to win this grant and I want them to know that I have all of these ingredients. Versus we have, you can say I have a proprietary mixture that includes 3 or more of the following ingredients. And that's typically what a lot of people will do. So if you say, shea butter, coconut oil, vitamin E, aloe vera, whatever, but then the aloe vera is not really in there, but you're still listing all natural ingredients and they get a gist of what it is that you're preparing. So just please, please, please don't share anything that you are not ready to share or that you wouldn't otherwise share with anybody else, right? Even though this is an amazing grant opportunity, the longevity of your business is more important. So let's get into the prizes. There's actually going to be 5 winners. Grand prize winner is going to get $100,000, plus you're going to get 5 one-hour consultation services from Aveeno. That's first. Second prize is going to get $50,000. And then you're only going to get 1 hour of a consultation with Aveeno. So make sure you got everything written down and you come to the table prepared, because 1 hour goes really quickly. And I don't know if they're going to let you go over the time or not. Then our third place, or they call them second runner-up is what it's called. So there's 3 second runner-ups, and then you'll get a 1 hour consultation with Aveeno. So again, make sure you have all of your stuff ready. On top of the consultations, and this is only for the first, they're calling them grand prize. So this is only for the grand prize and the first runner-up. You are going to get all expense trip paid for 2 to New Orleans with the approximate value of almost $5,000. It's like $4,800 and some change. So you'll get your flight, you're going to get your hotel, and you're going to get tickets to the Essence Festival, which I've been, and it is an amazing, amazing experience. One thing I would tell you, it is extremely hot there. So make sure you're ready for that if you win, and then you end up going to that festival. I think that is all of the items. So let me go ahead and get ready to share my screen with you all. Let's see. Hello, beautiful Bron Goddess. Thank you so much, Massage Maven. And hey, Tiffany from Ohio. I've never been to Ohio, but I work for a company and we definitely have offices there. All right, so I'm going to share this screen and then go to the website, which is essence.com/Aveeno. So here we are. Essence and both Aveeno have partnered together for this opportunity in order for individuals, like I said, it doesn't have to be 100% Black owned, Black woman owned. 51%, and then you can have partners, or you could be the CEO of a company, and then here you are. So here's my confusion from what I discussed earlier, is that here it says 1 to 2 minute video. However, and I don't know exactly where it's at in the rules. Hopefully it's right at the top somewhere because it was a lot to read. And if I don't find it, just know that it is in here, buried somewhere. Here it is. So I'm going to highlight this. So it says must not exceed 60 seconds in length. So that's why I'm saying I have no idea if we're supposed to have it where it is 2 minutes or if we're supposed to have 60 seconds. So please reach out to somebody, or like I said, you can screenshot it and say there was a little confusion about what exactly they were looking for. apply by April 30th, and then you're going to upload your video. But let's go into, this is so basic as far as what they're requesting, that it's not going to take you that long. Again, I think it's going to be the video that's going to take a lot of the time. So now let's look at their areas of interest. So Black female identifying entrepreneurs based in the United States. But here's some examples. So body care moisturizers and washes. A lot of people have the shea butter, body butters. Facial care moisturizers and cleansers. Hyperpigmentation, tone and texture, sun protection. And I know there's a Black-owned sunscreen that a lot of women are raving about right now. So maybe that's something, because there's not that many sunscreens out there led by Black companies, Black women, etc. Hair care, scalp care, baby skin care. I think that would be a unique one, because I'm not aware, but I don't have kids, so maybe that's why, but I'm not aware of a lot of baby skin care products that either Black woman is CEO or owned by a Black woman. Judging criteria, uniqueness, advances skin health for dark skin tones, brand incorporation, utilization of natural ingredients. Let's pause right now and talk about brand, because that is one of the options. So brand means that, let's say, so my brand, when I had my boutique, was pink. So, well, let me rewind. I started off at Pink City Hair Co. because I was only doing hair. Then I transitioned to Pink City Treasures because I was doing clothes and hair. So that Pink City can be the brand, right? And Pink City is still selling clothes, but Pink City is also selling hair oil. So if you are selling more than just skincare and hair care, that is okay, as long as it's all underneath that brand and you are branded. And that way you can still apply for this opportunity as well. So it's not that you can only sell one product. Feasibility of the idea. And I think when they're thinking about feasibility, they're thinking about scaling it, because their goal is to put it on the shelves, right? So you might be at Target, you might be in Walmart, you might be at, what is the other place? Ulta, wherever. They're looking to get a product and put it on shelves, and they want them on shelves within 6 to 18 months. The thoroughness of your approach, that's going to be exhibited through your business plan. Identification of key resources and plan to further idea of scalability. And then, of course, the 51% owned. And now I'm circling back because I totally forgot. But if you have gotten anything of value from this video, if you can please like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment, and please share these opportunities, because the purpose of me starting this channel was because I believe that so many entrepreneurs are not aware of all of the funding opportunities that exist for them. And then what happens is larger corporations end up getting this money because us small business people, we're not applying for these opportunities, because this grant specifically says 51% owned by Black female or has a CEO who identifies. When you heard the word CEO, you're not thinking about small business. You're not thinking about, I have a business and I got so much coming in that I've hired a CEO that's a Black woman, because the CEO needs to be making CEO money. So if I'm paying CEO money, that means my business is making that type of money. And those are going to be the individuals that then come in and apply for these opportunities, because we're just not abreast to them that are out there. And then also just understanding all of the barriers that exist with these types of applications. Like I said, me looking at just the rules, there's a discrepancy. And somebody that is a small business owner, what do you do in that instance where on the face of it, which is where most small business owners will stop, you're going to submit your video. You're going to do 2 minutes because you want to put as much out there as possible. But yet your rules are telling me that it can only be for 1 minute, right? And then on top of that, let's say you submit by April 30th, and then they're calling you on May the 1st. And on May the 1st, there's an array of documents that you have to sign. They're going to want you to sign a confidentiality agreement. You're going to have to, of course, have your business plan and all of these items ready that you might not have. But if you don't look at those rules, because there's nowhere on that homepage where it says we want a business plan. But You should have one, but not everybody starts a business with a business plan. They just start and say, this is what I want to do, and I'm going to see what's going to happen with or without this business plan. So really, please, please, please share with people. If this does not work for you, there's probably somebody in your network that is unaware. And I always tell people that you cannot fail by helping somebody else. What's for you is for you. So do not clutch information to your chest for fear of a competitor getting a leg up. If they get a leg up, it was just their time. And when it's your time, it's going to happen. So don't hold out on sharing information with people, y'all, okay? So your profile, first name, last name, email, phone number, pretty simple. A photo of yourself, you know, lovely. I would say pick a photo that really says who you are as an individual, right? It doesn't have to be a professional, super professional photo, but also make sure that it's not too grainy as well. I have my professional photo because, you know, I'm an attorney, but then as you can see, my YouTube thumbnails is just regular pictures that I would take on a regular day. It's not the super, you know, button up suit. I couldn't think of the word, y'all. Questionnaire, pretty simple. Name, brand, address, Twitter and the number of followers, Instagram, Facebook page, and then which category. One of the things that I found interesting was if you are providing a product for sensitive skin consumers and you click yes, they want to know more about that. So if you genuinely are doing that, let them know, because I think this will be something that's more creative and that's going to assist you with standing out from the competition as well. How many years you've been in business? How did you hear about it? And then here, why should your business be selected as an Aveeno Skin Health Startup Accelerator finalist? If you applied for this last year and you were a finalist, you cannot apply this year. You only get 300 words. So again, brevity, 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 and making sure that you just put your elevator pitch together at this point, because you could be spending unnecessary time applying for grants when in actuality, they're asking you for the same thing. As long as it's creative, as long as it's unique. Is this something that you've been working on since childhood? Is it something that you started in college? Is it something that you've been giving out your products for free and now you're trying to figure out how do you monetize it because you would like to exit the workforce? Whatever that is, make sure it's 300 words. Make sure that it is as creative as possible, and then make sure that it's going to spark their interest and make them say, let's hear a little bit more about that. One thing I thought about was, I know they mentioned baby skincare, but I think about teenagers, because as myself, when I think about when I was a teenager and I'm going to different dermatologists, it wasn't a lot of products out there for dark skinned teens. You had stuff that were for women and adults, right? But you didn't have those products that catered to darker complected women in that skincare line. So if you're doing something like that, I think that would be amazing. And I think that would be creative. I think that might be a space where I don't see a lot of advertising for it, but again, it might exist. And then the video, because I wrote down the parameters for the video. Again, we don't know how long the video is supposed to be, but it has to be no more than 10 megabytes. And then we've already talked about you being the primary person or the entrance being a primary person, no celebrities, no illegal activities, no bad judgment calls inside of the video. And after that, you apply and you wait until May the 1st. I would say if you haven't heard anything by maybe May the 7th, because they said, you know, around May the 1st. And the only thing I think about is if they have an influx of applicants on April the 30th, how will they then get through all of them to have that response on May the 1st? But of course, they might know something that I don't know. So I think they might I guess if the videos are only 60 seconds, they can kind of like it, don't like it, and really get through it. But other than that, I don't see any questions. So with that, I am going to stop sharing my screen. Again, if you got anything of value, if you can like the video, comment, subscribe, share, etc. Other grants, maybe I can find another one. We can talk about that one. But again, the link to the Patreon will be in the description box. But if there is nothing further, I would like to thank you all for taking the time to do this walkthrough with me. Also, I have a survey in the community. I don't know how you get to it, but it should pop up somewhere to see if people wanted to do grant walkthrough videos, or if they preferred that I do a list of, different grants, give you the links, and then you figure it out on your own as far as how to apply. Leave me a comment and let me know what your preference is. And based on what everybody says, I'm going to then maybe shift the channel a little bit. Maybe once a month we do a grant-a-thon or something. But I am out, so I will talk to you all next time. Bye.